Hey, what's happening? Hey, what's happening? Hey, what's happening?
Hey, what's happening?
Welcome into the live stream of the Eric Zane Show podcast. It's brought to you this time around by F45 Training Byron Center. It's the shirt I got on right now. Those amazing folks over there. Thank you. F45training.com/Byron Center. If you're in that neck of the woods and you're like, okay, I have packed down the pounds massively during this stupid pandemic. Boy, I might need a little bit of a jump start getting me into it. And I'm telling you, this is the way to go. An awesome group of people that want you to achieve your goals through fitness. Group training with a personal touch, okay? They've got all the rules in place to keep you safe. Everything is they got like a sanitizing crew there. Basically, every step you make, somebody's got to wipe it up. But seriously, if you're getting ready to get back after it, think about this. F45training.com/Byron Center. If you go to their website, that website right there, and click where it says free trial, you just click on the spot, little red banner there, and then you get 7 days free. They've got a heroes discount as well for all first responders, that being police, fire, my gosh, paramedics, EMTs, doctors, physicians, the guy who cleans a hospital. If you work at if you're the one who does billing, you're considered a first responder, and teachers too. How about them? We got to keep our teachers in shape as well. F45training.com/Byron Center. Please mention my name when you reach out to them. Okay. Van Dyke Mortgage. That's Mario's business. The Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage. 231-332-6505. Reach out to Mario if you are thinking about going down the road of getting a mortgage, whether it be something you've done in the past. Maybe you already have great credit. That's fine. That makes this an easy process. Or you're a person who's doing this for the first time and you have very little credit, or you have shitty credit. Wouldn't that? Oh God, that's a real thing. Sometimes bankruptcy, divorce, these things happen, or you're just not good with money like me. That's a thing. But Mario works hard to make it so that you can at least get into a loan. It's not going to be the best loan. You're going to get into a loan, and then you're going to pay on it. And after a year or so of you doing your part, he's going to get you into a better loan. Please consider Mario. 231-332-6505. Anywhere in the United States, the Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage. Okay, it is the 7th of October, 2020.
Would you shut up, man?
Hello, this is Rick from TC Paintball. You've tuned into the Eric Zane Show. Listen in while slapping a knee or through gritted teeth. Hear all of Eric's opinions, even the correct ones.
Thank you very much, Rick. I appreciate you. The Eric Zane Show podcast begins now. Late as hell. Damn it. Got a lot of work to do today, though, to get this show on the road. It was a lot of preparation. Believe it or not, there is some degree of prep that goes into it. May not sound like it, but I try. Rubbing the sleep out of my eyes. This show every day, of course, streamed live on Facebook, brought to you by Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid. YouTube, brought to you by F45training.com/Byron Center, and streamed also on Periscope. Twitter, brought to you by Blue Frost IT. So whether you're getting it live or you're enjoying it later on, wherever you download podcasts, thank you. I was just reaching out to, actually, Aram in Nashville reached out. He goes, I don't like the new music. I like John's heavy metal grubbish. I don't want to sit here and hem and haw over the music on the show. I like it when we change it up. If it starts to get so familiar that I know the actual all the different changes in it, it's probably time to freshen it up. But that doesn't mean we won't come back to that. So thanks, Aram. I appreciate that. Okay. We are one day closer to, it's kind of like looming. It's kind of like knowing you have a serious test on the horizon or something is coming your way and it's unexpected. Well, it's kind of expected. I know what's coming. Sunday, I'm going to be featured on Who Are These Podcasts? And you've heard me talk about this many times. the whole idea that back in July I was telling you about this podcast, like, hey, this is a tremendous show. I want you to check it out. And then here we are, this far down the road, and I'm like, fuck, I'm going to be featured on that show. That's the show where they review podcasts, and they basically, well, I don't think there's ever been a time that they've ever reviewed a podcast and said, this is a good show. That's not the point. The point of the show is that they're going to play it and roast the shit out of you. Okay? Which is fine because I do that nearly every day. So it's turnabout. I've deserved this. And frankly, it'll probably make this podcast better knowing that professionals who are in this industry hear it and go, yeah, this is fucked. I hate this. You should do it differently. So I've kind of started to wrap my mind around it, but I actually listened to the most recent episode that they did, and motherfuck, they hated this guy. And they were listening to some show called Paulie MF20, which is, I guess, a radio guy that had been around the block a time or two, and he had treated one of the people that was reviewing the show really in a real shitty fashion in the past. So the guy that was reviewing the show, the guest reviewer, I forget his name, he hated this guy. I mean, he actually had a vendetta against him, so he was super pissed about the whole thing. And he's saying, oh my God, some really, really terrible shit about this guy. And so I'm like, fuck, man. Now, I don't think I've got anybody, at least as far as I know, who want to murder me in that regard. Maybe there is, and maybe they'll show up on that show. I don't think so. I think Carl, who's the main guy I've mentioned many times, and another dude who's quite popular on that show, who reviews shows with Carl, named Andy, they're going to rip me a new asshole. So I have no idea what they're focusing on to make fun of, but it's kind of like looming in my brain, and I'm half excited and half fucking freaking out about this, because this is what I do for a living, and I work really, really fucking hard at it, like a long time every day. I get to do this, and I am fucking lucky. And so, again, it all comes back to, and I'm actually just explaining this to you just so that I don't fucking freak out. This actually helps me to talk to you about it. I know that sounds ridiculous. I don't know what is my problem, because here I am with this tough exterior, and then I'm just such a pussy. I'm like, oh no, they're gonna fucking make fun of what I do. Won't you stop? Relax, you fucking asshole. This is great. This is fucking awesome. It's going to expose the show to so many more people. This is a really, really popular show. And I actually want to interview Carl regardless of what happens, because this guy is, you see, I'm lucky because me building my show, I had kind of like a built-in audience, not big, but enough to be able to just plop it in. And then I have an audience because of years from radio. People who start podcasts from scratch don't have that luxury. So when you take a show like his, which is much bigger than mine, he did that quite legitimately, one at a time, building it that way, word of mouth. Okay? The way a schmuck like me does it is you just plop down a bunch of people, and then slowly over time they wither away. I'm kind of kidding, sort of, but so I'm interested in this guy and how he's done it. There's a lot to it, and I want you to check out the show. It's called "Who Are These Podcasts?" You can download it wherever you get podcasts or whatever. Just go to his site, whoarethese.com, and I'm looking forward to talking to the guy after the murdering. So there you go. Again, no idea what they're going to focus on. No idea what era of this show in the 2 years that I've been doing it that they're going to park on. But I noticed that when they were ripping an asshole of the guy that they had on last week, who, by the way, it was rough listening to that dude's show. It was he's a radio guy who's still stuck in radio, this Paulie guy. And he just does like 20 minutes here and there, and it was fucking terrible. It was the absolute worst. And so I can see why they would review it, and it's a little bit sad to me because there's a few things that you have to do as a radio person that you kind of have to give up doing as a podcaster. And he hasn't done that. So, I'm learning. He hasn't learned at all. So it was really, really hard to listen to, and I can see why they would make fun of him. A lot of radio people are super narcissistic and ego, and they're egomaniacs, and I got that impression of this guy, at least based on the way they framed it. One of the things they talked about on the show was like, oh yeah, you know what he does? He teases things. And the way he teases it is, it's only a 20-minute podcast, and the guy will say, yeah, coming up in 3 minutes, I'm going to tell you about this, this, and this. Wait till you hear what happens next. But first, and I kind of do that because I'm telling you, I have a spot here, right, the intro of the show, where I tell you what is coming up on the show. And Carl's like, oh, yeah, that's stupid. You can't talk about things on the intro or tease things. And I'm like, well, maybe not the way he did it. But I think that there actually is a space to actually set the table as to what you're going to talk about in the during the course of the show for a couple of reasons. A, it kind of makes him want to, okay, I'll just stick with it because I want to hear him talking about Eddie Van Halen or whatever. But on my show in particular, there's the live element, and that is substantial. If I'm sitting here making a podcast, but it's all one take and all 100% live, you bet your ass I'm going to tell you what the fuck is coming up, because it's all about keeping you watching it or listening to it in the entirety so that you can get all of that. As you can tell, this is burning on my brain. If me talking about what the fuck Carl is up to on a day where I've got a unbelievable story that I did not see coming, and which I'll get to that in a second. I've got Dear Meathead and Eddie Van Halen. If that takes precedent, well, it's fucking burning on my brain. Oh, God. Dear Meathead with my 86-year-old father is coming up a bit later on. And I need questions. I have 2, count them 2, ready to go for Dad. They're both pretty good, okay? But I would like to have some more. Please send questions for Dad to me via email, eric@ericzaneshow.com. If you would like to actually speak to my father, I will do that for you. Leave your phone number if you want to talk to him yourself, okay? No inside jokes, please, and the shorter, the better. If you're talking to him yourself on the phone, though, you can make it a little bit more elaborate because he's hearing your voice, but definitely no inside jokes. That would be great. Oh, my God, I started to cry more than once today, and I'm probably going to cry today. I think as I'm getting older and as I become more of an emotional powder keg, and I'm actually welling up right now. Oh, my God, this is embarrassing. It was a rough day yesterday. Man, fuck. I didn't even really fucking listen to a lot of Eddie Van Halen, but I've really been focusing on his on some of the things that made him tick, and so it's just bumming me out, man. The world is mourning the passing of Eddie Van Halen. I'm going to talk about this. High drama in the Eric Zane Show podcast household. As you know, if it starts with high drama, that usually means more like a massive overreaction. I'm going to make you cry and I'm going to make you laugh today. I can promise you that. A massive overreaction for something that is not at all a big deal. This is another example of the apple does not fall far from the tree in this household, because I'm the king. I'm the big swinging dick for overreaction. If you look up overreaction, it should have my face there. Overreaction, Eric Zane. That it's gotten me in fucking more trouble. Good, actually, it's led me to good things and bad things. The good thing. When I was at a traffic light in Mount Pleasant, Michigan, back in 1991, and I said, I better put a ring on my wife's finger. What do most people do? They sleep on it. I drove through the intersection, and I was reminded of it because there was a jewelry store right there, right on Mission Drive. and made a left into the jewelry store. It's since been torn down, and purchased a $100 ring. That is an overreaction, but it was a good overreaction because I got a great wife out of it. Oh, my God. Well, I mean, that's me. It's either off or on. There is no dimmer switch. Massive overreaction. So my blood relative in this household, the one, my daughter, is me times 10, I think. Well, no offense, ladies, but you add Eric's overreaction gene with female, it's a fucking nuclear bomb. Wait till you hear this, man. Easily the second or actually third biggest story over the last 24 hours was the one from here in Michigan that about 1 million of you people sent along to me. It is the story about the incident at the Meijer grocery store involving some sick bastard and what he or she, I think it's a he, and what he did. Yeah, it was actually seen on surveillance camera. About 50 people emailed this story. I said a million. About 50 of you, honestly, did email the story. So thank you very much. Okay. First of all, I need to start with this. The chili cook-off, we have moved it to a date that we don't yet have. We were going to do the chili cook-off coming up Thursday at Irvine's Auto Repair Grand Rapids Hybrid. But it's been a little weird. You had the Michigan Supreme Court shoot down Governor Whitmer's executive order powers, which means anything after April something or other is null and void. Well, then she went ahead and she got, I don't know what the fuck it is. The next thing I know, I turn around and some other Michigan agency has made it they've put down the hammer and now you got to wear masks, and then the attorney general says we're going to not enforce this, and then we are going to enforce this. So there's a lot of weird shit going on. It's turned into a huge power play, and it's awful regarding the pandemic. Excuse me. But what that's done is it's made the all of us who was putting on this event a little bit concerned about what we're supposed to do, what we could be doing. Will people be watching? Will some Gestapo-like tactics occur and then get everybody in trouble? So we decided that it would be a good idea to just punt. So that is that. And punt. All right. Let you know more about that later on. I cannot let this slip by. I made it a point to bring up that I have to talk to you about my mother, and it's kind of like no news is good news. And if you want to know the truth here, I avoided reaching out to my mother or my stepfather yesterday. They're both going through COVID right now. My mom's in the hospital, and I didn't even lift a finger because I want less people reaching out to them, especially my mother. The fucking phone rings. It's impossible to rest in the hospital to begin with. So I'm just like, I'll leave it alone. And but I got no bad news. And so it's all. Thank you for being concerned about this. I think she's slowly getting better, my mother, and it hasn't been that terrible for her. She's not running up the steps like Trump, but she is slowly improving. So that's all that we can hope for at her age, her advanced age. So hopefully she'll be on the mend. The way they do it is they after you get out of this, she would have to get some type of rehabilitation to get those lungs and the heart in order a little bit. And then she also needs some strength building. So it's all just kind of like you do what you can, man. And God bless her. And thanks to everybody for reaching out with any thoughts and prayers. 30 years my mom and Wally have been married. This is okay, now I've been married 28 years. And so it's just my mom and Wally. I think Wally's on his second marriage, maybe third. I don't know. I know my mother is on her third marriage. So when you're 85 years old, you're not supposed, you should be married for like 60 years at that point. But my mom, being that it was like, first marriage, that's not going to work. And then she met my dad. Oh, yeah, this is great. Oh, that's not going to work. Then she went back to the drawing board, and finally she met Wally. And then, Wally used to be, we all lived in the same neighborhood. And my mom, my dad, and we all lived on one street. Wally lived on the next street. Okay? And Wally, the timelines were parallel. Wally was raising his kids with his wife, and my mom and dad are raising us. My mom and dad break up. After my dad left, I ended up getting this freaking paper route. And so I can actually, if I were to drive through that neighborhood, I can still tell you the houses on that route. And one of the houses on that route was Wally's. He was a subscriber to the Macomb Daily. So I used to go to this house, and one of the things I noticed when I would go there to collect, because you had to go and like bang on the door and say, collect, $1.25, Macomb Daily, was this really, really pleasant man, friendly, and he'd always be like fucking trying to give me the money through the door and give me a 50-cent tip while his dog's trying to bite my dick and his cat's running around in the house, and it always smells like dog shit in there. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And I see his kids are just a little bit older than me. I'm like, boy, this place is just crazy. What's going on with this guy? And one of the things about Wally is he used to then sit there and bend my ear, and he would talk to me for like 7 hours. And I'm like, here I am, 10 years old, and I'm like, son of a bitch, I gotta go. And this guy is just cannot stop telling me stories about shit that I don't care. And I'm like, oh, fuck. Well, Mr. Corbeil, I got to go, man. Seriously, it's like 10 o'clock at night. My mom's like, where the fuck are you? She's like, I got the police out looking for me, and this is back about 1980. And so it was that was a thing, I would go to this guy's house, Mr. Corbeil, and I was like, oh, fuck, man. I just hope this doesn't take me too long. Well, little did I know that guy would end up marrying my mom. Well, he ends up getting divorced. My mom and dad end up getting divorced. And then we all went to the same church, same Catholic church, St. Martin de Porres. And sure enough, man, these two hit it off at singles night at the parish. They go, come on in, meet somebody nice, get an annulment. Here you go. And then off you go. The rest is history. And I've been hearing long-winded stories since then. Stories that start with, hey, hey, Eric, how are you? I'm fine, Wally. How are you? Oh, yeah, that reminds me. Let me tell you about when I went parachuting. Oh, boy, here we go. These really long stories, I love him to death, but seriously, he can tell a story. He has an ability to tell a story. And you almost like, God, somebody knocked on the door. Oh, thank God he stopped telling the story. And then, 15 minutes later, so anyway, where was I? Oh, fuck, here we go again, shit. And you really gotta hunker down. You gotta focus on the story. You gotta give the guy attention. You can be rude if you sit there and ignore him like all of you are doing right now as I'm trying to tell this fucking story. All right, anyway. So 30 years these two married, my mom and Wally. And honestly, these two, I know they have great moments together because they've been married for 30 years. But my God, do they bicker. And I think it's kind of subdued. It's settled down quite a bit as the years have passed. And they were the typical old married couple and just sit there and oh, my God, they're harping on each other. Wally, let me talk. Would you shut up for a minute, Wally? And I'm like, Ma, don't fucking say that to him. I can handle this. You don't need to butt in. It makes me really uncomfortable. Because that would happen. I'd be talking to Wally, and he'd be telling me about, his bowel movement or something like that. And then my mom would be sitting there rolling her eyes, passive-aggressive, and right next to him. She's like, Wally, would you shut up? And I'm like, come on, Ma. It's really awkward when you do that. I'd rather just hear the story about the bowel movement than have you interject like that. It's really off-putting. Just stop. Anyway, 30 years married. Congratulations to you two. Now, I didn't plan it this way, but it kind of I write these things down on the show based on what is burning on my brain. And this made me legitimately sad yesterday. And honest to God, I actually started to well up. And I'm going to probably start to right now. And damn it. Who are these podcasts? They're going to rip on me for this one. Okay. Look, you need to know that my relationship with Greg on Free Beer and Hot Wings is, when I say brotherly, and I've told him this, at times you might have a falling out with a brother, but in the end, you still love your brother. It had been seriously bad for a long period of time, but eventually, lately, we've started to kind of, cordially communicate, and I've talked to you about that. And and one of the things I told him is, I go, dude, as I've reached out to you, it's because we were at each other's throats bad. And I said, dude, I look at this as like a brotherly relationship. I've hated on you. You've hated on me. But in the end, we spent a lot of time together, and I love you like a brother. Told him that. And I mean it. So as he and I baby step this with just, hey, how you doing? Just small talk. I was fucking blown away when I heard that he and Amanda are breaking up. And I still can't believe that those words are leaving my mouth. I fucking cannot believe that. If you did not hear, he talked about this on the radio yesterday, and I was like, son of a bitch. On their Reddit, on their subreddit, somebody pointed out, hey, is something going on there? And I normally wouldn't give that a second thought. But they did the same thing with Hot Wings when they started to kind of like, because he had gotten divorced some time ago. And they had, somebody had pointed out, hey, Chris isn't wearing his ring. And I don't know, they very much in tune. I would never have known this. But they pointed that out, that there might be something going on there back with Chris. And then, well, as soon as that started to like rumble around on there, it was a short time later that Chris came out and said, okay, this is what's been going on in my life. And he explained it. Well, when I saw the same thing happen about Greg, hang on. Man, I am getting old. As I get older, I get like this. Somebody pointed that out on there, and I was like, there's no way that this could possibly be true. But they pointed out two things. A, they noticed no wedding ring, which, yeah, that is a big deal, but who knows? And then someone said, and I just haven't heard him talk about his wife. And now, from the times that when I do check out the show, I went, yeah, I think that is true. That I haven't noticed. It's a very open show, and you constantly are telling stories about yourself. Fuck. But no, I dismissed that. And they ended up, someone deleted, the person who runs their thread deleted it. So, yeah, it's a little private stuff. Leave that alone. So then it went away. And then yesterday I'm sitting here, and I just happened, as I'm doing what I do after the show, posting things and, nuts and bolts and the arts and crafts of putting this show up, I see there was a discussion about something that was said on Greg's show. And Greg came out and said that it's over. And I was like, you could have knocked me over with a feather, man. No way. I would never have thought that in a million years. And I cannot believe it. I just can't believe it. And honestly, it's really screwed up for me, because at a time when I think this shows what you're getting now is, that's it is brotherly. It is beyond the I'm mad at you. It's deeper than that. So I wish him the best, man. That's tough. And I don't even know what the fuck to say, honestly. It's just fucked. Because this guy loves his wife. Okay. I've never seen anybody love a wife like him. He's really good at it. He's a good man. And so I just wanted to fuck, man. God, son of a bitch. Hang on. I can't believe it. I just can't believe it. So hold on. One more. I'm an absolute mess today. All right. Now, if I can get to the next part. Now, okay, so I had that happen to me, and it was kind of burning on my brain. It made me upset, and it was at that point that I realized that I've got a deep, at least from my perspective, my roots go pretty deep with Greg, whether I like it or not. Whether I was mad at one point in my life or not, whether I was happy, sad, aggressive towards him, mad at him in any way, jealous of him from the years on the radio, to where we are now. All of that is gone. It's a deeper vibe that is because I can't stop this. I can't stop how I feel about him and how sad this makes me. So that tells me that's what's up. That's what's legitimate and real about this whole thing. Okay. So then I was really upset about that. And then as the day wore on, I saw that Eddie Van Halen died. Now, that is unbelievable and huge. But it wasn't until I really started to unpack Eddie Van Halen that I started like, son of a bitch, I think I'm going to cry again on the show when I'm playing these clips. And, you see the usual tributes from people, and I'm like, fuck, what I usually like to do when someone who's gigantic in scope, culture, whatever it may be, I like to kind of find out a little bit more about them. And it dawned on me that outside of seeing him play and seeing him always just sitting there smiling while he's jamming on stage, doing amazing things with Van Halen, I'd never really heard the guy talk or do anything other than just play. So I stumbled upon this interview from 5 years ago. It says it happened in 2017, but it was actually when he was just turned 60 years old, and he just died yesterday at age 65. He had been battling cancer for a long amount of time, and that's what his son Wolfgang said took his life. So I was poking around at on this interview. It was made by the Smithsonian, and a lady by the name of Denise Kwan, I think is her name, was the person doing the interviewing. And so this is a really intimate setting because she got Eddie and this lady and then probably, 400 people. It seemed like it was a type of place like a college lecture hall. And there's a couple pieces of gear. There's a couple of Eddie's guitars that he made and a couple of amps, and then a lot of Q&A and interviewing. And so I didn't know shit about Eddie Van Halen leading up to this, but I watched it a couple times, and I posted it on Facebook, and I'll put it out in the news of ericzaneshow.com so you can check it out yourself, and then also in the comments of this podcast. I'm really sorry. Excuse me. My nose is running. Stand by. It's a big nose. I had no idea about the innovative spirit of this guy and what made him tick. This is what you get. Hold on a second. Daisy, son of a gun, stop it. If that dog's licking her paws, I'm not going to be able to concentrate. Sorry, I'm really struggling right now. Stop, please. I love you. She's doing that. Okay, so Eddie had this. He was really into, like, he had an innovative mind to tinker with shit, and he was always trying to find out how to make stuff better. but he would never like ask for help. He would just tear shit apart and then rebuild it. And you got a guy who comes to the U.S. from the Netherlands, and immigrant family, doesn't even know English, and his mom and dad are musicians, and so that spirit kind of he watched that. So mom and dad start to get him and Alex to play piano. So there's that going on, and then Eddie never read music. He couldn't read music. He would quite literally, the brilliance of this guy, genius level. He was a savant who was, he would sit there and watch people play, and then he would absorb that, and then the next thing you know, he's playing it, which I've always found to be, it's that whole argument that we have aliens living amongst us someone who can just look at something and play, watch a classically trained musician play, and then all of a sudden, he's doing his thing remarkably at age 8. So that's absolutely amazing. And so then in this interview, and he'll talk about it, it's about an hour long, but I'm just parking on a couple of things that I found interesting. When it came to guitars, when he wanted to own a guitar, he couldn't like spend a lot of money on an off the shelf guitar. So what he did was he would buy knockoff guitar bodies, like a body of a guitar, and then a knockoff neck, and then he would go and ruin a Les Paul and take the pickup out of it, like a broken Les Paul guitar, and then he would manufacture the guitar to be the way he wanted it to be, because the Les Paul wasn't quite what he wanted, but he didn't have the money to do it a certain way, so he would have to figure it out, and so he would construct the guitar, and then he would take electrical tape, and he didn't like the way it looked, so he would make these designs on it, and then you've got the classic Eddie Van Halen guitar, which now guitars are made to look like Eddie Van Halen's guitar. So this has kind of repeated throughout his life. First of all, when he would play music, he couldn't read music, but they would take how he did it and write it down in its own form of music that he talks about in this piece called tablature. Now, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. And now I do know what tablature is, but I didn't know that it was made because of Eddie Van Halen. So whatever this guy did, it seems like the industry had to kind of catch up to him. Same thing with guitars that he would manufacture. He tells a story about he became close pals with the guy who makes Fender guitars, and Les Paul and him. They would all get together and just make actual new guitars. Absolutely incredible. So he's talking about this, and they're talking about all this innovation and the neat shit that Eddie Van Halen would do. And then he's talking about how amps, he wanted the amps to sound a certain way. So he would get an amp, and then the fucker would tear it apart, and then he'd get electrocuted all the fucking time. He was constantly getting hurt because he was continuously electrocuted from digging into an amp. So, and then he said that everything was trial and error. Now, when you take that spirit, that, oh my God, I got to figure out how this works and make it better, with the genius of being able to just look at something and be able to do it, and then match it up with the hard work, you get Van Halen. Because in this piece, he talked about how in like the 1970s, nobody was listening to rock music. It was all punk and it was all disco. So here they are, and no one is supporting rock music at the time. Kind of like now, okay? So you get the band, and then you got Eddie and Alex, Dave, and then they had a different bass player at the time, and then Michael Anthony eventually came in. Everybody's saying no to their music, and they're shopping around this demo like, come on, man, fucking let's do this. Nobody gave a shit, so they would just hang flyers up all over Southern California, Van Halen, Van Halen, Van Halen, and they would just literally themselves nailing flyers that they made, and Elmer's glue, fucking Van Halen tickets, $3 at the so-and-so gym. They did that long enough that they were getting like 6,000 people a pop on their own. No record deal, making enough money from the gigs to be able to buy equipment, pay for gasoline, and it was what Waylon has attempted to do. It's what a million other bands are still attempting right now too. And Eddie says, this reporter says, so does that change? I mean, what do young bands now do? He goes, just do that. He goes, it's even easier now. It's hard, but it's even easier because you've got the internet. He goes, if you go up to an industry person, they slam the door in your face. Well, just go to the next door and just keep banging on every door, but keep working. So I guess my point is, or his point was, you take all of these things, put it together, the hard work ethic, all of the ingenuity and the take shit apart type of mentality, and the genius that is Eddie Van Halen. And motherfucker, of course, when they would David Lee Roth, every time they would show up, he'd say, "The circus just got to town. Get ready, here it comes." And he was right, because when they took off, man, all of a sudden nobody gave a shit about disco. Okay. And then as the 1970s ended and went into the 1980s, the whole world had to catch up to Van fucking Halen. Okay. They were hair bands before hair bands, except they were a million times better musically. In the piece, they talk about how record companies, all they did was try to emulate Van Halen. You got to get a guitar wizard. You got to get the hair, which was the era. And that's it, you know? And so Van Halen, because of Eddie and Alex, changed everything over and over and over again. And me, I'm not the biggest fucking Van Halen fan, okay? But after I saw this piece, I was like, man, that is fucking brilliant. I'm going to play for you a couple of things. This first thing that I got here for you comes to us. This is Eddie Van Halen talking about his time as a kid and when Alex and him were figuring out music. And Eddie wanted to play drums, okay? But every time Eddie was away, Alex would fucking take his drums and he started to get good at them. While Eddie or Alex was supposed to be learning how to play the guitar. Listen to this.
Right. But the funny thing is, these piano contests that they put us into.
Sorry, I'm already fucking this up. It backs up even further. He's talking about how his mom and dad, to further the music mentality, when they're 9 years old, would enter them in piano contests, okay, where there's thousands of kids that are participating.
Right. But the funny thing is, these piano contests that they put us into, you're not even allowed to read. Okay, you can't use sheet music, so it was actually a blessing in disguise for me
because he didn't read it.
To not be able to read, I could not look up and do things at the same time. I had to see what my fingers were doing. These piano contests, actually, both Alex and I won 3 years in a row. I think I won first prize 3 years in a row, and Al won first prize, second prize, or whatever. But we always won, and it's kind of like in phases where you go in and you play, and then you wait an hour to see if your name gets whittled down. I had no idea. It was like 5,000 kids. Okay, then it'll go down to 2,000. And you see if your name is still on the list. And then we'll go down to 100 people, and then 10, and then 5. And we're going, Alex and I are both going, come on, let's just go home. We're not going to make it.
They don't even give a fuck. And the dad's like, come on.
You know? And my dad was always the one who said, no, wait. Check it out. And well, there it was. We were in the top 5. And then we ended up winning, which was great. But that was the piano phase. So that was 9, 10, 11 years old. That I did those contests. And then we discovered the Beatles and Dave Clark 5. And of course, like any kid, we wanted to rock and roll. And I quit piano lessons and the contest circuit, so to speak, and said, I want to get myself a drum kit because I like a song Glad All Over, boom, 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 by Dave Clark 5. And I wanted to play drums, so I got a paper out, bought a St. George drum kit for $125, and my mom somehow had convinced my brother to still do something musically respectable, which is take flamenco guitar lessons. Now, forgive me if my memory or recollection is different from yours, Hal, All I remember is me going out and throwing the papers and coming home, and he's playing my drums. And I'm going, okay, it PO'd me a bit in the beginning, and then finally I just said, okay, he's just better than I am. So I never wanted to play guitar, but I said, okay, go ahead, take my drums, I'll play your damn guitar.
Oh, holy fuck! Wait a minute. I never wanted to. Holy shit! I just heard Eddie Van Halen say from that interview, I never wanted to play guitar. Take my drums. I'll play your damn guitar. Like, he's like, all right. Yeah, I guess I'll do this. Eddie Van Halen. Holy fuck. Okay, I'm just scratching the surface on this because I've got some more shit that I want to share with you about this guy. But I'm already fucking late. I spent too much time getting all emotional. Fuck, that was embarrassing. Sorry about that. I'm going to get to Dear Meathead coming up with my dad, so I want you to email questions, eric@ericzaneshow.com. I'll bring him in here in just a minute. Let me see what's up here. Okay. Yeah, we got a couple of these questions coming in. So thank you very much. Reach out, eric@ericzaneshow.com. All right. Before I get to that, though, and I'll continue with the Eddie Van Halen in a bit. The show is around on Patreon as well. I would love you to be part of it. I pretty much have stuff being published every day of the week on Patreon now. What with Smarter Than a Former Drug Dealer Trivia with Dale, which you get a chance to play for cash. We have a $25 prize if you are able to beat Dale. If he wins, it rolls over to the next week. If you're on Patreon, you're eligible to play. Not to mention my podcast with Ben, which actually today we're going to record because I've got a busy remainder of the week. It will be available on there. I've got the lost Zane recordings from my time at WBBL. Not to mention, we have the Insane Asylum, which is the last remnant of my radio career. Lucky enough to be able to do a show that's it's music intensive, of course, with me spinning the tunes like a DJ. But I actually love that because they give me the flexibility to play whatever the hell I want. I pick the music, and it's a 2-hour show, and you get it commercial free on Patreon. And this week, the first 2 segments of it is all Van Halen. So, all right. So there you go. Meanwhile, Horizon Hydroponics, HORIZEN, hydroponics.com. Anywhere in the United States, it is for anything that you might need for growing cannabis. They have a enormous vendor thing going on this weekend at their 4 locations in West Michigan and then Kalamazoo and Lansing. Go to Horizon Hydroponics if you want all the details on that. If you spend $250 or more at horizonhydroponics.com, the shipping is free. And then, of course, if you use Zane Show at checkout, you will save 10%. Thank you, Horizon Hydroponics. TC Paintball. People are still licking their wounds from Paintball War number 10. Oh, my God, we killed Kenny. We are in the planning stages right now for Paintball War number 11 at TC Paintball. If you want to book a party, you're going to have so much fun. Get a group together and then reach out to them. TCPaintballGR.com is their website. They have everything you need. You just got to walk in, hopefully with some clothes that you don't mind getting a little bit dirty, okay? Everything you need is there. They've got the guns, the masks, the paint, the extra armor if you want. So if you've got a person who's in your group that might be a little bit sensitive to getting smacked with a paintball, you're taken care of. TCPaintballGR.com. From paintball guns to real guns. BK Guns and Stuff. 616-902-2447. If you have a bit of weaponry that needs servicing, please remember BK Guns and Stuff. You can get to their website by clicking on mine, ericzaneshow.com. Just click on their BK Guns and Stuff logo, and they service customers from all around the United States. Thank you to BK Guns and Stuff. Okay, Let's do this. It is time for Dear Meathead. It is the Q&A session with my dad, my 86-year-old father. You asking advice, kind of like Dear Abby, if you will. And for years he has been doing this, and we are so blessed to have him. Dear Meathead is always brought to you by JM Synthetics, online at jmsynthetics.com. All right, let's bring him in here right now. Hope his spirit is good. Where are you? Hey, what?
Oh, you're Johnny on the spot.
Hey, Dad, how are you?
I'm well. How about you?
Never better. Well,
I have a question to ask first before you go anywhere.
Yeah, please.
How is your mom doing?
Thank you for asking, Dad. She is making slow, steady progress. And, she hasn't gone down the road of, sometimes you hear about people in COVID and it's like really, really, really a slippery slope and they get in bad shape really, really quickly.
Yeah.
It's not like that. Mom, of course, has not had to go onto a ventilator or anything like that. She's a little cranky, as you would expect. And sometimes she's a little bit loopy because of the dementia and the medicine that she's on. But for the most part, I think she's going to be okay.
Thank you, Jesus.
Yes, I would be surprised if this went south, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, we were concerned about that,
Thank you, Dad. I appreciate that.
Oh, sure, honey.
Her and Wally, they had their 30-year anniversary yesterday.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, where did the years go?
Do we have a picture with all of you guys together? I don't know that. I don't know that we do, but I think that it would be great to have a picture of everybody together. And from their different walks of life.
Yeah. Wow.
How is Joanne doing?
Joanne's doing well.
Yeah.
Thanks for asking.
Is she right there?
She's sitting right next to me.
Oh
honey.
my God! I'm so excited to see you guys.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing you.
Okay, so you're going up north this weekend, right?
Yes.
Okay, what day are you getting there?
Tomorrow.
Okay, now I'm actually going to be up there tomorrow too. I was going to go Friday, but I had a change in my schedule, so now I can go Thursday. And Mike does not know that, but you can tell him. But I'm actually I'm going to see you tomorrow, so we'll have plenty of time together.
That's great. That's great. I'm looking forward to see all the things that you have done, your accomplishments. I really am excited to go see those things.
Well, that's good. That's good.
Don't tell me the things that you've done. See if I can notice it.
You won't be able to notice it. It's
well, you painted the thing.
Well, I just put a little primer on. It's taking forever. My main.
Well, yeah, it's a big place to do a lot of things.
Hey, my main goal is making it so that the mice don't get in. And every time I find another place that they can get in, and then I close it, and then I keep my fingers crossed that I was successful, and then I go there the next time, and I got mice in the traps.
Are they still getting in?
As of last time, yeah, but
I thought you said you found a place that they were getting in.
I did, and I closed it off, and then the next time I went, there was a couple of mice still in there. So we'll see this time. But I'm going
to make a comment. That furnace you don't use, do you?
No.
I think you ought to remove it out of there.
Yeah, I know it. That's
and
the
then
plan.
Look see what's going on.
Yeah, I think that might be part of it. So we'll see.
And actually, you can sell that furnace.
You think so?
Yes.
That's a kerosene.
It's a usable, durable furnace.
It's an old kerosene
furnace. I, for instance, would like to have it in my garage.
Oh man, I don't know about that, man. It's rough.
No, that's a good usable item.
No, we don't want it.
I don't want it,
no.
But I could use it in my garage. You can use it in your garage.
Joanne's like, I don't want it. No, I got one, man.
Well, I don't want it either.
Nobody uses kerosene, man. They either use propane or natural gas.
Well, hey,
all right.
What can I say? I got one of those heaters. I light it up, and in 20 minutes, the garage is hotter than toast.
All right, listen up. This one's, I got a question for you. It says, Dear Meathead. And this person wanted to remain anonymous, and so I wanted to put that person on ease that they will remain anonymous here. Dear Meathead, I have a problem with my wife keeping the house clean.
Wait a minute. Say that all over again.
Okay, I'm going to start over. And he writes, Dear Meathead, I have a problem with my wife keeping the house clean, And then he says, now, before anyone calls me, a misogynistic pig, my wife does not have a job. And it was her idea to stay home to be a homemaker. And I support.
Okay.
And then he says, we have had many conversations about the house being a mess. And she always agrees that things should change, but they never do. The other night, I finally lost my lid. I don't like yelling in my house. I don't like making her feel bad. I need another approach, Meathead. I hope this isn't too real for my first question on Dear Meathead. Okay, so basically, wife doesn't do anything, even though she knows she should, and she agrees that she should. And then he got mad and lost his mind. So, Dad, what do you think about all this?
Well, first of all, losing your cool and yelling at your wife and have a fight and destroy the whole damn week because of that is not the right thing to go or the right thing to do.
Okay.
I wonder if he has had any conversation with her that, hey, listen, this isn't my style of living. This isn't my style of life. And I did not expect my wife to become, it's either laziness or personality problem.
Yeah.
And no, don't try to set up a fight. I can't tolerate this anymore.
Uh-huh.
What is your plan?
So you're saying that he should fight with her?
You should discuss this with her. He should discuss this with her.
I think he did, and then it didn't work.
Not yelling and fighting.
Okay, I think he tried that, and then that's why he got frustrated and started to yell because she won't. It doesn't seem to resonate, you know.
Well, there's something wrong with her. Definitely.
Okay.
I would say that openly. I'm hoping that they're listening to it. A husband and a wife that have a home cannot be slobs. You know, in this case, a wife is a slob.
Oh man. Oh,
it's ridiculous. If a wife does not take pride in a clean and neat home for herself, not the husband or anything else.
Well, yeah, you know,
a slob.
And it's one thing if she works, but she agreed to do this. She said, "Hey, you go to work, I'll stay home and keep the house in tip-top shape." And then he comes home and it's a mess.
No, that's not. This is not cool. There's something wrong with a woman. She doesn't value neatness, cleanness, comfort in a home by the fact that the husband comes home to a clean home and whatnot. Do they have any kids?
It doesn't say. I don't know.
My God, if they had kids wouldn't have their diapers changed.
Oh, for God's sake. Yeah, boy. Hopefully
There's
not.
something the matter with that woman. If this is the norm, I don't know what's going on.
All right. Now, just a side note to that anonymous person. Let me.
Wait. I'm not done yet.
Okay.
Now, if this is becoming a definite problem, kick her out and get a divorce.
Kick her out? Oh, my God.
Get a divorce.
Oh, my goodness.
No, hey, I'm really being drastic about this. I don't like that to hear people cannot take pride in their home.
Wow. Okay. Well, we are off and running. I actually wrote down some notes. You chalk it up to, Dad, your words, laziness or personality problems.
Personality problems, probably, not probably laziness. But that really angers me.
There's something wrong with her. The wife is a slob, and kick her.
That's exactly what I'm thinking.
Kick her out and get a divorce.
I mean, the husband goes to work, provided the living, the funds to survive, buys a home, and then a wife creates the whole thing to become a slobbish thing.
Okay.
How does that make sense?
Well, you know,
I hope that she's listening, and I don't dislike her. I don't even know her.
Well, you know,
she's probably a very loving person.
I understand.
Oh, my God, neatness is an important thing.
I understand your point of view on it, Dad. If I had 2 seconds to just jump in, I would suggest he not do that And just, if it's that important to you, I just keep trying your best and try to remain calm. And I don't know, but I think that there's something to it. If it is making you that unhappy, who knows? Maybe it will go down that road. I certainly hope not, but time will tell.
Eric, here's the situation. If they're both like that, slobbish, it's okay. Do all the things that you want. Don't do nothing. Just cook a meal or so, and that's it. But if he is a neat person and likes the house to be in orderly fashion and all that,
yeah.
Hey, he's hurting.
Okay. All right, Dad, I'm moving on. Justin writes this. Dear Meathead, if you started a brand new business today, let's just call it Rubens, what sort of business would it be, and what would you sell, or what type of service would you provide? Dad?
Well, I'm a very do-it-yourself type of a person, I repair things in the house and, do a lot of things. I clean my house, whatever I can help my wife with. But I don't. She generally does. I would clean it.
Wait, did you just say, wait a minute, Dad, did you just say you clean the house, and then you said, no, I don't clean the house?
I would do that. I have no problem with that.
It was like Rick James there. Okay.
I would clean my house.
Okay. Anyway, what type of business?
The type of business that I would consider for me, being that I'm a fix and repair daily type of a thing, it would be a building type of a project.
Okay, like maybe you could do like picture frames, and then with every purchase you get
No, not necessarily that. No, I would take a serious business.
Well, you but you stepped all over me. I was going to say picture frames, and you throw in a free finger with every purchase.
No. The picture frame is a hobby. That would not be my living.
Okay, sorry. Yeah.
You got Joanne cracking up. That's nice. No, you're asking me what I would do.
Yeah.
No, I'm trying to understand a business that I would survive with, making a living and being a person that is in a business.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. What would it be? I mean, is it going to be lawn cutting, picture frames, whatever? It doesn't.
Oh, no, it would be building a house.
Oh, you become a builder.
Being a builder.
Wow,
I would definitely like that, and that's a fantastic thing because I would do a lot of good things myself.
So Rubens,
I built this house in reality. Joanne and I, we took this, which was a home of an elderly couple, which is my in-laws, wonderful people.
Yep.
And it was to their fashion. Everything was good. But we got it. We took all of the interior of this house out.
You sure did.
And the flooring replaced and all that. Just Joanne and I, it took us 1 year to do that.
I remember.
And believe you me, I am proud of this house.
Oh, and you should be. You put a lot of work into it, Dad.
So I would say that I would be interested in remodeling a home. That would be my forte.
All right. Very good. Hey, Dad, you know how occasionally we like to bring people in to actually ask you questions themselves, kind of like a little conference call?
Yes.
I'd like to do that again. So I'm gonna push a button, and then it's gonna go silent, and then I'll introduce you to the person who wants to talk to you. Okay, Dad?
Okay.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Yeah, stand by. Okay. As we're gonna go to Melinda in Tennessee. Get her on the phone. Talk to Dad.
Good morning.
Hey. Dad, say hi to Melinda.
Melinda, how are you today?
Good, Ruben. How are you this morning?
Good. You sound bubbly.
I am. It's a Wednesday. Tomorrow's my Friday. I'm excited.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds good. Me.
My question is very, so I am a girly girl and I don't build things, but my husband and I are separated and I want to rebuild the flooring of my shed. The flooring that's in there now is caved in from probably water damage and stuff like that, just age. And I'm not really sure what to do to make sure, first of all, what wood to use. Second of all, how to make sure it doesn't cave in this time.
All right. How big is this shed? Can you give me a measurement?
It's probably about an 8 by 12.
Oh, it's typically a smaller shed.
It is, yeah. It's not huge.
Is it aluminum sided on the exterior?
It's a metal exterior.
Okay. And is the roof rusted?
No.
Okay. Now, the wood is the floor is a wood floor, right?
It is, yes. Yeah, and I think he used like plywood or something.
Okay. I have a similar type of thing. But of course the floor is not, it's a metal floor. Oh, no, it is. It's a wood floor.
It's similar, but it's metal. Is that what you said?
I thought my floor had
okay.
It's a wood floor.
Okay,
never mind.
Okay, sorry.
All right, you have wood floor. Everything else is solid in that property that you're at, right?
Yeah.
Well, yes and no. The shed has slid off the wood floor, so I'm also going to have to make sure that, if we get a windstorm or something, because I don't think he even nailed it down or adhered it to the flooring so that it wouldn't lift and move, because it definitely did that. So I'm going to have to also secure it in place.
You said it slid off the foundation?
It did.
How far off is it?
All right. Let's keep it moving here. What's the advice?
All right.
Jeez.
How far is this slid off?
Maybe
oh my God! What is this? 20 questions? Just tell her how to fix the floor.
No. I need to give her good information.
Oh my gosh!
I just don't know what type of wood to use.
Yeah, she wants to know what type of wood to use.
Well,
Here, you're asking. Oh yeah, when was it built? What color is it?
Sheets of plywood.
Yeah.
You buy a 4x8 sheets of plywood, if that's what you want to do, one piece. Ordinarily, the floor is in sections, but then again, in your case, you just the door is built wide enough to slide in a sheet of 4x8, and whatever that covers, you nail it down, and then if it requires another piece to put in there, then you cut another piece to fit in that area. And of course, you have to have a base to it. This is my whole thing.
Okay.
So the base would be another 2x6s or something. You slip it under it and nail the floor to that.
Oh, okay.
So
you said plywood. Won't that cave in? Because that's what happened to this one. It kind of got wet and caved in.
Well, you can't do anything else. It's got to be I don't mean a plywood, but there's a building sheets of 4x8s that you can purchase.
Okay.
And of course, that is a place that is never going to get wet, so that particular wood is not going to deteriorate.
All right, yeah, we got it.
The water doesn't get there or nothing, so that's what I would do.
Oh, perfect. That's it. You nailed it. All right, Melinda, thank you so much. That is awesome. Dad, you nailed it with her. Wow.
Okie doke. I hope I helped.
Oh, yeah, it was perfect. It was excellent. Okay.
Are you happy with that, Melinda?
She actually cut out. She had to go.
Okay.
So,
all right.
Yeah, now I got one more for you. I might regret this because the guy that I'm going to bring in, he has no idea how to ask a short question. So, him taking 1 hour to do that and you asking 1 million questions about his 1 hour question is probably, it's probably going to result in the universe cracking in half. So hold on right there. I'm going to bring in my man Kenny here. Just stand by. I might regret this. Oh, God, that was painful. Oh.
Hey, man.
Hey. Dad, say hi to Kenny.
Hi, Kenny. How you doing, buddy?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
Not too bad. Thank you for asking.
All right.
I got a quick question.
Oh, that's not possible. That is not possible.
You hear that, Kenny?
Yeah. So, look, a friend of mine found that his wife had thrown away one of his favorite shirts when he was taking out some trash the other day. And he immediately grabbed it and put it on and was talking about how much he liked it and asked her why she had thrown it out. Well, she ended up ultimately revealing that she thought it looked kind of like a child's shirt and made him feel kind of silly for wearing it. And he immediately took it off and threw it on the floor, and I don't think he's touched it since. So my question is, should he let his wife's opinion of one of his favorite shirts affect his own thoughts on it? What do you think?
No, she shouldn't have done that. Not at all. Now, here's the deal. How important is it to her whether he has the shirt or not? It's his shirt. He likes it. He should keep it.
All right.
Simple as that.
That's how I feel about it.
I mean, what is it that the woman thinks that he should not have his shirt? How is it that if he picks up a skirt of hers that he don't like?
Yeah.
And does the same thing to that?
Exactly. He's just going to start to chow.
That's a child's play for the woman.
All right.
Oh, is that you, by the way?
What? Wait, what?
That's not happening to you, is it?
Maybe.
Okay. No, hey. But it doesn't require a fight and argument.
Fair enough.
You take the thing, wash it, clean it, and hide it if that's what you want.
Yes, it's a good shirt.
But
It is
the
a good
woman definitely needs her brain checked out.
Absolutely. That I've said that many times. All right,
I
Kenny.
don't mean to be ridiculous, but I don't mean to insult the lady.
Kenny, I appreciate you.
People don't mind their own business.
All right, Kenny, thanks.
Thanks, man.
All right, see ya. There you go.
You got the message?
He does got the message. Wow.
All right. God bless you.
Dad, you've done it again. That was outstanding. I really appreciate it.
All right. In that case, I'll see you up north.
Yes, indeed. I will see you up north, Joanne. You have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you in just a little while, just about 24 hours or so, okay?
All right. We love you, and stay healthy.
Okay, guys. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
There you go. Okay, there you go. Another rip-roaring edition of Dear Meathead. Oh, that was great. See, I knew I should be wearing the shirt, for crying out loud. God, that was killing me with him and the deal about the shed. Oh, son of a bitch. When he starts to go down the road of, like, all she wants to know is, hey, I want to replace the floor, which is, part of the spirit of Dear Meathead. But then he starts with the questions, and I'm like, son of a bitch. Everything just comes to a screeching halt. I can't handle it. Oh, my gosh. Woo! All right. Now, does this shirt not look awesome? I mean, son of a bitch. This is a great shirt. I really like this shirt. I have liked it. Hell, it used to be Jim's, and I kind of grew into it. When I say that, I mean I shrunk into it. But Jim doesn't fit into it anymore. He's fat as shit. He's got the body of like an 80-year-old guy now. You wouldn't believe it. All right. Thanks again to Jason Mays for bringing us Dear Meathead with JM Synthetics. Okay, I'm going to get back to the Eddie Van Halen stuff in a second here. But first off, A&E Heating and... No, I'm already screwing this up. My God, I wanted to mention Cameo. Cameo.com/Eric Zane. Hire me there if you want me to do a personal shout-out, birthdays, that sort of thing. It's fun. I enjoy it. I love ranting. I love the roast style, doing it that way. And I'm damn good at it. Cameo.com/Eric Zane. A&E Heating and Cooling, 616-516-8579. If you need your furnace tuned up, it's just $79. Installing the Comfort Maker brand of furnaces and air conditioners. Comfort with confidence. Thank you, A&E Heating and Cooling. You guys are awesome. In fact, if you are in the market for a whole new install, like a new furnace, whether you have a new home or you're replacing, you're retrofitting, please get two estimates before you call upon Joe. Get those two estimates and then get Joe's. Joe will probably be lower than both of those. But if you say, well, yeah, but this company is going to charge me this much, Joe's going to beat that. Okay? You really want your business. Please mention the Eric Zane Show podcast when you reach out to Joe. 616-516-8579. Got an RV dealership in town here in West Michigan, a long division between 68th and 76th Street. They are Terrytown RV. Their website is terrytownrv.com. They're awesome. Go check one out, see what you like, and maybe you'll be able to get a trip that happens before it freezes here in West Michigan. And then if not, well, then just pack it away. And then wait, something to look forward to for the spring. TerrytownRV.com. Do make them part of your shopping experience. Stand by. Excuse me, I'm a mess today. We have a social distancing event scheduled for October 23rd at Great Lakes Winery Brewery Distillery in Holland, Michigan. They're on East Lakewood Boulevard, just west of US 31, across from the luxurious Windmill Estates mobile home park. When you're headed by there, just know that that's a key sponsor of the show. Pop in, get yourself a growler of beer, maybe a bottle of wine, perhaps a bottle of grappa. What is that? You'll find out. Just go on in and say, hey, Zane wants me to get a shot of grappa. Okay, one shot's not going to kill you. It's not going to knock you on your ass. It is going to knock you on your ass, but you're not going to be drunk. Take the one shot of grappa, go, damn, that's strong. It's going to put hair on my wiener. And then buy a bottle of grappa at Great Lakes Winery Brewery Distillery in Holland, Michigan. Okay, I want to get back to this Eddie Van Halen stuff. This is taken from that 1 hour interview. And, I was listening back to it. One of the things I noticed is I never heard Eddie Van Halen talk up until this thing. I had no idea what his voice sounded like. He'd always just be on stage there doing freaking crazy shit on the guitar, usually drunk. The fact that guy, a lot of his performances were when he was really, really bombed and still could perform amazingly. Again, proof that guy was just the rarest of the rare. He ended up beating alcohol some time ago, years ago. I think it was back, he indicated in this piece that it was like 2007. He was on tour with Van Halen, and his 16-year-old son, Wolfgang, was the bass player of that band at the time. He indicated in the piece that he was still drinking then, so you got to figure, though, sometime shortly thereafter, he finally quit. But, man, the guy had the thirst, no doubt about it. But this isn't about that. Near the end of this piece, they do some question and answer where just the random people are standing up wanting to get on the mic and ask Eddie Van Halen a question. Now, these are all super big fans of the guy, and it had been a wonderful time during the first 50 minutes of Eddie describing his childhood and growing up and how it is, how he does, what he does, and it was just super, super fantastic and interesting. So I kind of wanted to park on it instead of just saying, Eddie Van Halen's dead. Oh, my God, he was great. This was a hell of an interview, and you must check it out. But in this, there's a lot of questions that are asked, but these two stood out to me. Okay? This first one gives me my last chance to possibly cry on the show today because of what he says and how poignant and terrific it is. This is from 5 years ago. Listen to this.
Next question on your left.
Edward Van Halen. I'm too from Buffalo, New York, Dave Dahm, and I don't know that guy. Funny enough, I swear to God. Anyways, so just want to say one thing before my question. I have to say this to you. I have scenarioed this in my mind for 35 years, what I would say to you, and I just want to say thank you, man, from the bottom of my heart.
That's incredible, man.
You're very welcome.
All right. My question is, of all the deceased musicians out there that are no longer around, could you pick one to play with? Who would that be?
Wow. I'd love to jam with my father again.
Oh my God. What a thing to say. That is just incredible. Holy shit. Oh my God. That knocked me on my ass yesterday, man. Holy crap. Wow. Of all the things to say. In that earlier he had revealed that it's really, really strange how this is because they talked about who was your some of the other people that like professionally and he says, Eric Clapton when he was with Cream, the band Cream. Ginger Baker, Jack Bruce, Eric Clapton. And then after that, he kind of lost interest, he said. And then they said, well, who else? And he goes, well, I didn't really listen to anything else. Jimmy Page. And he goes, no, after I got into the industry, like after he was talking about how he went to see Jimmy in another clip, how he went to see Led Zeppelin play. But after he started to actually become a thing, he said he didn't listen to anyone. He didn't watch TV. He didn't listen to music. He didn't go to movies. He would fucking build guitars and rip up amplifiers and play music. That's it. So that was a hell of a fucking response. That was incredible. And, here everybody in the room is thinking, oh, he's going to say Hendrix, man. He's going to say Clapton. He's going to say whoever, some other famous, Stevie Ray Vaughan. His dad. Wow. And here it is on the day after his passing, he is. That is amazing. They then pass the mic to another guy. Well, another person.
Next question to your right.
Hello, my name is Cole Ratliff, and my question for you was, when you first came to America, what was your first day of school like?
When you first came to America, what was your first day of school like?
Oh, it was absolutely frightening. Because, we already went through that in Holland, first grade. Now you're in a whole country where you can't speak the language and you know absolutely nothing about anything. And yeah, it was beyond frightening. I don't even know how to explain. But, I think it made us stronger because you had to. I mean, the school that we went to was still segregated at the time, believe it or not. And
wow.
Since we couldn't speak the language, we were considered.
This is like the mid-'60s.
A minority. And my first friends in America were black. Their names are Stephen and Russell. And we became fast friends because I could outrun them. But, it was actually the white people that were the bullies. They would tear up my homework papers, make me eat playground sand and all these things, and the black kids stuck up for me. So, it's
How about the fact that it's a kid, 10-year-old kid is a huge fan of Eddie Van Halen. And that terrific question, what was your first day of school like? There is nothing to I should say there is so much to like about this 1 hour interview segment. I just couldn't get enough of it. I watched it twice, man. Like I said, I wasn't even that huge of a fan of his work, but I'm a fan of the guy, man. And it was just great. I mean, Eddie Van Halen, he strikes me as the type of guy based on this of just a really cool dude, a flawed man with an unbelievable talent that was always just doing amazing things. Now, what I want to do here is something, it's kind of like you have to see it. So if you are enjoying this live, you will be able to see it, albeit small, because I'm going to turn my freaking iPad so you can see it, at least in theory. Yeah, you'll be able to make out what's going on. And then for those of you that are getting this pre-recorded later on, just listening to the podcast, you can check this out. I'll link it up on your own. But what's happening here is the conversation goes to Eddie, the interviewer, talking about his innovation, how he would constantly reinvent, change things, building the guitars, his style of play, what he would do with amplifiers, because he's constantly building this shit. Now his legacy, he has an entire line of equipment that is extremely good from what I understand. So that leads to his method of playing. And, I've oftentimes heard Eddie Van Halen's playing, and it never really dawned on me what he's doing. Well, in this, he shows actually what he's doing. And he talks about it here because a lot of Eddie Van Halen's playing style wouldn't be like one hand strumming and the other hand moving along the neck of the guitar. It would involve the left hand doing certain things with the strings, which I don't know, and then the right hand, right near where the left hand is, also doing shit on the neck of the guitar, which would produce a sound that is Eddie Van Halen's sound. And you've all heard it, and he'll give an example of it in this clip.
But, through trial and error, I continue to fuss around with stuff.
And it also goes with your playing technique, too, because you're known for playing with both your right hand and your left hand on the fretboard.
Yeah, which brings me to, I can
demonstrate?
Well,
now this takes a second for him to get his guitar. So
there goes the earpiece.
I'm just going to let it roll.
But it's worth it if we get the guitar in his lap.
There it is. Got it.
Yeah.
Is it working? Yeah, good.
Uh-huh.
Okay, let's see if I can do that again.
I didn't know this was going to be a striptease
Is it hooked onto
edition.
my jacket?
Trust me, it's worth it.
More power.
Okay, so, a lot of people, before the internet, nobody could search things and whatever, but, lately everybody's going, oh, Eddie Van Halen didn't invent tapping and pull hammer-ons and pull-offs and this and that. And I never claimed that I did, but I do know how and when I figured out how to do it. And on top of that, I never really heard anybody do with it what I did, which is actual pieces of music. But I'll never forget, Alex and I used to go to every concert at the Forum in LA, and Led Zeppelin's playing, and Jimmy Page is going like this. He's going. Okay, so he's got his hand up in the air, and I'm going. So basically, I just moved the nut. Okay, this part right here is the nut. But then I instead of using this hand, I use this hand. So like right now, if I go like this, you can't tell which finger I'm using. This hand or that hand? You tell me, right hand or left hand? I'm using both, okay? So, no, so my point being is it's basically this finger or these two or however many you want to use is just an extension of this hand. Okay, so if I'm playing an A,
he just rips it out, no problem. So effortless, remarkable.
Then, figuring that out, then I started actually making little pieces, like Eruption.
Son of a bitch.
So that's
it. Holy shit, come on.
So that's the tapping, or I don't even know what they call the stuff. I didn't call it anything. It was just part of my playing. But then came stuff like the intro to a song called Mean Streets, where I'm going like this. And then harmonically doing so it was just harmonics by tapping. Stuff like that.
Just stuff like that. Oh.
And people ask me, where are these harmonics? Well, they're everywhere. If you just go like this. You kind of hear them pinging out. They're like, and if you know where they are after a while, you can do this stuff. Or, see, I don't have the right effects, but.
That top, Jimmy?
And, being the only melodic instrument in the three-piece band, actually before that.
This is the last little bit I'll play for you.
Alex and I. So we both just filled every hole possible. If there was a hole, we filled it, and it
Get your mind out of the gutter.
But the main reason why I squeezed so many, you call them tricks, call them whatever, techniques out of a guitar, was out of necessity because I couldn't afford the pedals. I couldn't afford a wah-wah pedal. I couldn't afford a fuzz box and all the toys that everybody else had. So I did everything I could to get sounds out of the guitar with my fingers.
My God.
Kind of necessity leads to innovation.
That is, absolutely fantastic. Whenever I see someone, doesn't matter what it is, it could be driving a garbage truck or doing that, when the job is effortless and second nature, it's really interesting to me. And that to me is the charm of Eddie Van Halen, because you got this guy who knows he's the greatest in the world. Most guitar magazines and these polls that you see has him at the tip top of that list every time. Just gone too soon. Cannot believe it. 65 years old. Rest in peace, Eddie Van Halen. You want to check that thing out, that whole, there's a lot more to that interview. It's well worth your time to watch it. And, you just get a little slice of what makes the guy, talking about his professional life. Okay. I think I'm through the emotional parts of this show, but I'm still going to talk about an emotional thing that happened at this house. And, man, I saw it coming a mile away yesterday. All I wanted to do was I'm sitting there, Diana's laying in bed, and I have to go, and remember those two people that are the recipients of the furnace thing with Joe Martinez, and they each of them get $600 because of the money raised by the audience that I had no idea was even happening. Well, it's time to take that money and transfer it to 2 PayPal accounts. Got all the everything set up in place, and I'm going to do that. And Diana was just on the phone with Madison, who was coming home from work. And she says, okay, yeah, everything's good. Okay, I'm walking to the parking lot. I've got somebody with me, and I'll be home very soon. Okay, great. Hangs up the phone. Well, about 3 minutes, but during that time, she says to her mom, she says to Diana, hey, there's a problem with my ear piercing. I can tell something's wrong. She's one of these kids who gets like 8,000 ear piercings, okay? And there's all sorts of shit in each ear. And she even went so far as to get like this bar that goes through like the top of her ear. And, her sister has one. They're all about it. Okay, great. So this happened recently, which I don't know how the shit that chicks worry about, man. so then she was complaining that there was some discomfort there because it wasn't that long ago that she got it done. Well, she hangs up, and then I'm using Diana's phone because it's through the PayPal account, which is on her phone. And all I want to do is put in person's PayPal account and transfer $600 to one and transfer $600 to the other, and I'm done. And then the phone rings again 1 minute later, and it's Madison. And I'm like, son of a bitch. I hand the phone to Diana. So now I got to stop what I'm doing. She picks up the phone, and it's on speaker. And again, this is 1 minute ago. She was on the phone, and she just finished up a nice day. Everything's good. And now this is what it sounds like when 1 minute later we pick up the phone and it's on speaker. My ear hurts. It closed. She is complaining and screaming because the ear is infected and the hole has closed. Okay. The what happened was the little backing thing fell off the ear bar deal. And so the part that's supposed to go through the hole has wiggled its way. And then the hole has closed because it's infected and it's swelling, and she is she's not screaming and yelling because it hurts. She's screaming and yelling because now she won't have the metal bar going through her ear. And I'm like, son of a bitch, this is just horrible. And so it's on. And I'm like, I'm sitting there. And I'm just sitting like I am now with my hand over my face. And I'm like, and Diana's like, oh, it's okay. No, all I want to say is shut up, and come home and clean out your ear. This is why Diana handles all things lady related. I don't get involved in any of this shit ever. It's always Diana. I can't do it because I don't have the patience. With Jim, I just tell him to shut up and it's fine. He's like, oh, okay, whatever, Dad. And then with the girls, you cannot do that. It is completely out of the question. So I have no jurisdiction whatsoever in any of these endeavors. It always has to be her. So, but I'm just sitting there like, motherfuck, you got to be kidding me. And this goes on and on and on. And so she hangs up, and I say to Diana, which then made her mad at me when I said, do you have any idea how nauseated that makes me when she does that? And then she's like, well, you don't understand girls. And I'm like, fuck. No, I don't. And then I know that I have limited time. I must clear out. I must get away. And so I was in like the room, and I know that she's going to go when she gets home from work in 3 minutes. She's going to march upstairs, and be screaming and yelling like she just found out that she's been diagnosed with stage 8 cancer. So I get the fuck out of there, and I come in here and I sit down, and then I was watching the Van Halen thing, and I hear it. The door slams. It's right below me in here, and I hear the coming up the steps, and then and you can't even tell words, but it's cry talking. So it's like, and I'm like, oh, shut up. What are you doing? How is this? How are you even how can this be real? How can you be this upset? And so I got my phone on Do Not Disturb, and then I hear it. And I'm like, oh no, third man into the ring. She wants me. And so I don't say anything. I ignore it. And then, so Diana comes walking. She goes, why are you ignoring us? And I go, oh, I'm not ignoring you. What are you talking about? I called Jim. I go, I didn't hear anything. I didn't hear nothing. She goes, well, Madison needs you. I'm like, oh, fuck. So I don't do well when, okay, she wants you to feel bad for her. I don't really do too well at that. I can't fake it. All I want to do is tell her to shut up. Okay? So imagine this. You're faced with a screaming 18-year-old who the worst thing possible has just happened to her in her life that can possibly happen. And she is screaming and crying. And I walk in the room, and all I want to say is, shut up. But she wants me to say, there, it's okay. And I can't do it. Now, I didn't yell, shut up. But I walk in, and I look at her the way I'm looking at you right now. and she sees me, and because I don't have the sad look on my face, she's right away pissed. She's like, why don't you care about me? And I go, I do care about you. How is your ear? It hurts. I go, it's infected. We need to clean it. Well, what about it? She's only worried about the fucking metal in her ear. She wants it back in. I go, you have to pull it. I go, did you pull that thing out all the way? No. I go, get it out of there. Clean the ear as best you can, and then leave it alone. That's all I'm worried about. Now, she's not worried about that at all. She doesn't give a shit that she's about to get her blood is about to be infected to a level where we have to hospitalize her for 2 weeks. She's not worried about MRSA or any shit like that. I just don't want the thing infected anymore, and I want her to take care of it. That's all I give a shit about. So, in effect, I care. I'm just not kissing her ass and crying like mom's like, oh, there. Let's cry together about your stupid ear. And I'm like, fuck this, man. I can't deal with this shit. So I didn't say that. So I just sit there looking at her. And then she's accusing me of being callous and mean. And Diana's still on my side. She goes, no, your dad's not. He's just concerned. So I know that all I have to do is keep this face. And because if Diana turns on me, I'm fucked. Okay? I cannot have that. So Madison spends the next 10 minutes accusing me of being a horrible dad and yelling at me and screaming at me and doing all sorts of bullshit. And I'm sitting there going, yep, okay, whatever. Clean your ear out. My gosh. And then, she wakes up and it's like nothing ever happened. Holy crap. So much, never a dull moment. You can talk about your kids and you can talk about how great or how terrible or how dramatic they may be. If you don't have a daughter, you got to at least experience this at least once. I don't know. I mean, maybe you just experience it through me, but for those of you that don't have kids or do have kids but no daughters, holy crap. My gosh. All right, so that's the big drama going on, or was going on. It's over now. It leaves almost as quickly as it starts. Okay, I'm going to get into the story next about that everybody had sent along to me at the local grocery store. Meijer is the big chain around here. Something terrible happened at the Meijer. Boy, you would think that with all the people that sent it along that I would have it up and ready to go. Man, I cannot believe how many people sent that story along. My gosh. Everyone was like, man, Zane is going to love this story. And I do love that story. And I have people that I will talk to from the store. I will get to that in just a bit. As you know, the Kent County Health Department says get your kids vaccinated, okay? Yeah, I know. I mean, it was 1 year ago when all they were worried about at the Kent County Health Department was making sure you got your flu shot or your measles vaccination for the kids, whatever. That was the big deal. Well, what a difference. They're still worried about that now, but now there's a little bit more on the table, for God's sake. Do keep the Kent County Health Department website available, accesskent.com/health. Or if you have any questions about any vaccinations or flu shots or whatever it may be, or COVID related, you can call them at 616-632-7100. They have 4 COVID testing stations in and around the area. Thank you to the Kent County Health Department. The initiatives that they have in place help keep us safe. And if you're an anti-vaxxer, don't harass the folks at the Kent County Health Department. Just go to your stupid Facebook group and be an asshole there. As I mentioned earlier, Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid. Do mention my name when you get your car fixed. They are the best, man. 616-532-6600 for Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid. Love them so much. When the big dealerships in town get in the weeds, and it happens, they call on Irvine's, especially for the hybrid stuff. That's what they're really, really known for to the other dealerships when they get into trouble. So for sure, if you have a hybrid vehicle, you must call upon Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid. The continuing education is always in place. They never have their full staff of techs because there's always one getting like further training. And then it's like, it's your turn to get further training. I'm going to be fixing cars. It's your turn to get further training. It's amazing. They are the absolute best. Gone is the stigma of the local shop with the grease monkey there fixing the brakes. He's got a cigarette dangling out of his mouth. No one's at the desk. Someone walks in, bing bong. He's like, fuck. He puts the wrench down. His knuckles are bleeding, throws open the door. He's pissed off that you're there. Forget that shit. Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid, 616-532-6600. Thank you. Okay, so this neck of the woods of Michigan, it is known as Van Buren Township. It's not that far from here. It's a little bit south. The community is known as Belleville. Not sure how it all unfolded other than maybe on a surveillance camera. The cops were notified. Meyer called the cops and said, we got a guy on camera who has a box, walked into the store, and I don't know if he got the box in the store or if he brought the box in with him. Not sure, but he opened up the box and took a big gnarly shit, and then he covered up the box and picked up the box and put it on the shelf. Now, I don't know if that's like just any cardboard box or if he opened up a fucking Life cereal box and shit in the Life cereal box or what. That would be horrible, though, if you think about it. Good thing they caught him if he did actually shit in the Life cereal box, then closed it up, and then some poor son of a bitch grabbed the Life cereal and opened it up, and it's some guy's shit inside of the Life cereal box. We don't know that. These are details. These are all questions that we have. There's, in fact, not a ton of details about the story. All that we know is that on the afternoon of October 1st at this Meyer store, the guy opened up the box, took a dump, put it back on the shelf. Then he ripped off an item before leaving the store. Last seen leaving the parking lot in a light-colored Ford Escape. How can you get such a shitty description? A light-colored Ford Escape. What is that? Is that light white, light blue, light red, light yellow, light black? How the fuck can there be cameras everywhere in the world and we don't have a perfect description of the guy who took a shit in the box? Now, much to the chagrin of the world, the local police department on their Facebook page, they put the video up of the guy taking the shit in the box and putting it back on the shelf. And then the dumbasses at Meyer said, would you take that down, please? Well, no, we got to catch this guy. Fuck you. I'm not taking it down. But Meyer said, will you please take it down? So that's fucked. Plus, we all want to see it. We want to see this guy take a gnarly dump in the box. I mean, at least I do. I don't know about you, but I want to see that. And put the damn thing back on the shelf. So as the day unfolded yesterday, it was every time I turned around, it was the story about free beer, the story about Eddie Van Halen, the story about guy taking a shit in the box and putting it on the shelf at Meyer. I don't know which one I got more traffic from, but it was a three-headed monster for these three stories. So yeah, that's awful. But I'm like, this looks like a perfect opportunity for a phone call. I can't just sit by and not call this actual store where the employees work to get comment about this incident. Now, let me tell you, it was not easy to make this happen. I called the store and I called the deli. No one's picking up. I called customer service. No one's picking up. I called the bottle return, sporting goods. No one's picking up, which tells me the management is like, we don't know nothing and you don't pick up shit. All right. So I'm like, well, what department do they have to pick up? Pharmacy. And that led to this. So here you go. This is what happened when I called the Belleville Meyer, the scene where the guy took a shit in the box and put it on the shelf. Now, here you go.
Belleville Meyer. Here are your options. Please tell me which one you'd like. Location information or a department?
Department.
Okay, which department?
Pharmacy.
All right. Pharmacy. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, I'll connect your call. One moment, please.
Hello, Mayor Pharmacy. How can I help you?
Hi, ma'am. How are you? This is Eric Zane from the Eric Zane Show podcast. And I'm just calling because I was trying to get an update on this story about, God, unbelievable. This guy that apparently took a squash inside of a box and then put it on the shelf. What?
I can transfer you to the service desk. Yeah, I don't know anything about it.
That would be great. I was having so much trouble getting through, but had you actually heard the story?
I haven't.
Lie. Yeah. This is the Belleville one, right?
Yep, it's Belleville.
Yeah. Some insane kook took a hot squash in a box and then put it on one of the shelves.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Unbelievable. You didn't see anybody that looked like Stu McAllister walking around or anything, did you?
I don't know if I was here at that time that it happened, but yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. Okay, yeah, I would love that if you could transfer me to there. I would. Okay. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for your patience.
This is Albert Meyer Service Desk. How may I help you?
Hi, how are you, ma'am? Sorry to bother you. Eric Zane from the Eric Zane Show podcast. I was calling about that crazy story where the guy took the squash in the box. I mean...
Ooh, I have no idea about it.
Yeah,
sir.
That was just horrible. Are they giving you guys any, special gloves to walk through the store with in case there's any remnants laying around? You don't want to touch anything like that.
Oh, I was not aware of this. Thank you for bringing it to my attention.
Okay, this is Van Buren Township, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay, yes. Well, it was on MLive. That's some crazy man, according to the Van Buren Township Police Department. The gentleman went doo-doo in a box. And yes, and put it on one of the store shelves. This is at 9701 Belleville Road, yes?
Yes.
Uh-huh. That's your store.
That's horrible. Well, thank you for bringing it to my attention.
Yes, ma'am. I want you to be careful.
Right.
And they ended up getting the box, and they're looking for a light-colored Ford Escape. The cops are trying to find this crazy man. So,
You're awesome. Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, be careful there and watch what you touch, okay?
Thank you so much, sir. You have a great day,
All right,
okay?
you have a great day, too. Thanks a lot. Mask up.
Thank
okay,
you.
take care.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye. Belleville Meyer is where that all went down. Boy, she was great. They were actually both great. I would be shocked. Come on, they gotta know, right? I mean, that's what they're told to do is just act. Play dumb. I had no idea that someone took a dump in our store. I mean, everybody in the world is talking about it, but holy crap. Pardon the pun. Okay. So there's a couple things, loose ends that I want to tie. First of all, there's been a lot of talk about Trump. First off, with the Corona thing, have you heard this? And I found this to be such. Son of a bitch. Can we just make it? Can Trump see something like this and actually intervene and say this is horrible? I mean, I know the whole ego thing is gigantic with him. But let me read this. The headline from USA Today's money section says you can pre-order a $100 Trump defeats COVID commemorative coin at the White House gift shop. Can we just go a day without something looking douchey? All right, and I frankly I run real risk in getting people to blow up at me if I say anything negative about any candidate either way. But can we just agree that this is fucking stupid? The guy has COVID and he isn't even over it, and they're already minting a $100 Trump defeats COVID coin for sale at the White House gift shop. What the fuck? Now, it says here the White House gift shop is not affiliated with the White House. What? How? How the fuck is that even possible? The coin is part of a series designed by some Italian dude, chairman of the White House gift shop. He described the COVID-19 coin as the last in a series illustrating President Trump's ascendance over and defeat of the deadly COVID pandemic virus. Okay, let me just say, this is fucking North Korea bullshit right here. That's what this is. And these stories are piling up now, okay? We're getting to the point where when you have Trump having the COVID parade, getting up out of his hospital bed and fucking jumping in the limousine and to talk to the Lee Greenwood fans, blaring "Born in the USA" out in front of the hospital, while all the veterans are trying, keep it down, turn it down, asshole. That shit, to running up the steps like Rocky and then staring at flash balls for 5 minutes. That was terrible. And then ripping off the mask and going in. I don't know. To this, come on, man. Do we really need a $100 Trump defeats COVID coin? And what type of fucking moron is going to buy this? Seriously, anybody who would be that into Trump, who would find this to be cool, they don't have $100 to begin with to actually get the fucking coin. So this whole thing is stupid as shit. And finally, last but not least, thing I want to touch on in the great state of California. Now, this is from Fox News, so I'm a little concerned about it because Fox News occasionally will throw something up and it's not vetted. And believe me, I've gone through many, many times where I've talked about something that hasn't been vetted and it hasn't been fucking true at all. So I know what that's like. But it's from a office of the governor of California. A tweet at CA governor. So that would be what? Gavin Newsom? Unless this is a fake account. Who knows? I'm too busy to even run out that ground ball. I'm assuming this is true. They wrote just the other day, going out to eat with members of your household this coming weekend? Don't forget to keep your mask on in between bites. Do your part to keep those around you healthy. Hashtag slow the spread. Now, truth be told, I shouldn't really have a problem with it, but I am going to draw the line, and I would never do that. Of course, I'll probably be in California within the next couple of months. Is that a thing now where they're actually, if you sit at your table and then you have to leave the mask on now, and then the food comes and you kind of pull one side over, you shove the food in your mouth, and then you put the mask on while you chew? Is that where they are there? I have no idea. $1,200 is supposed to come your way. A little food for thought here, and then I'll end it. President's been under pressure. The Congress has been under pressure about this $1,200 stimulus money. We've got it easy, and here's why I say that. We've already gotten $1,200, and now there might be $1,200 more coming your way. We don't know. There might even be more than that. Not to mention there's bailouts coming to big industry like the airlines. Be thankful that we live in the time that we do, because back in the Great Depression, they didn't just go ahead and give out the money and you just take it and go spend it any way you want to. Okay? What did you have to do? You had to fucking work for it. It was called the Civil Conservation Corps. The Depression made it so everybody lost their fucking jobs. Not that different than what happened right now. But what do? Do they say, all right, let's tap into our resources and give everybody money? No. They actually set up work camps. And guys who were doctors, lawyers, bankers, accountants who lost their jobs, they would go to the work camps and, plant forests, build the Appalachian Trail, set up the national park system. They were given a certain amount of money. They were given free lodging, which was a fucking tent, free food, which was a can of Spam a day, and you were forced to send the money home, a good portion of it. The rest of it you might take over to the commissary and buy a comb or a pack of gum. So what I'm saying is, don't bitch. Trust me, we've got it good compared to what it used to be. Thanks again to Baldwin Ace Hardware for being on board with the show. If you're headed up north, go see my friends at Baldwin Ace Hardware, an oasis of DIY goodness in the Northland. They are awesome. They bring you my Moments with Diana, the Queen of the Forest segments, brought to you by Baldwin Ace Hardware. As well, for Blue Frost IT, the managed IT service provider for this dumb show, 616-200-8550. They want to help your business. Don't wait until something goes wrong, okay? And keep them in your fold. So basically, it's like you have a contracted employee ready to go. They check on you, and they make sure you're updated. Everything is good each and every month, okay? They're part of your team, and you can afford it because, they're not like collecting insurance or whatever it may be. You've got a monthly stipend, almost like a subscription for their skills at Blue Frost IT, the managed IT service provider for this show. They are the best, and so are you. Thank you for being with me on the show today. Got the Patreon coming up in a little bit. Thanks again, and we'll talk to you further down the road. Bye-bye.
Thank you.